Happy Friday, everybody. This is Brian McCarthy with Compass coming at you live again with another market monitor. This week, we're going to be taking a look at the housing market as a whole for the country. I got some slides to share going through some sales stats for this past year, some housing trends that we're looking at moving forward over the next 2 years, and some mortgage update info as well. So let me share my screen and I'll get started here. So big question right now, a lot of people that are struggling with inventory is when do the most listings come on the market? Well, traditionally, that would be the second quarter of the year, kind of the spring market, April, May, and June. Not so sure that's going to be the case this coming year. Looking at all the stats and trends and the data coming out of National Association of Realtors and the people that track this stuff, it looks like the winter market is going to be pretty awesome. Nationwide and especially locally in northern New Jersey, we have quite a bit of a supply shortage. But if you're a buyer that's actively in the market, hold tight. Hopefully we'll have some listings coming on the market here after the new year. Let's see, the behavioral insight analyst at National Association of Realtors says home sellers have historically moved when something in their lives have changed, a new baby, a marriage, divorce, or new job. The pandemic has impacted everyone, and for many, this became an impetus to sell and make a housing trade. I know that's certainly true for a ton of my clients and almost for myself at this point. Another quote from National Association of Realtors: the pandemic likely spurred occupants to shorten their home stay as tenure in the home decreased to 8 years from 10. According to the report, this is the largest single year change in home tenure since National Association of Realtors, NAR, began collecting such data. That's pretty huge, pretty big impact that the pandemic has had on the housing market. I would say, well, I know in Hoboken, the average for a homeowner is 6.5 or 7 years. So even less around our local area for that tenure. And I'm sure it's dropped since the last time anyone did any real stats on that. Today's homeowners are staying in their houses for an average of 8 years. So this is the graph that kind of shows that 85 through 2008, the average was 6 years. After 2009 or 10, it went up and there was a lot of pent up seller demand, a lot of listing shortages year over year. And the average went up to 9.2 years. And now here we are in the very end of that orange graph down to 8. Another quote for you from the manager of economic research for Realtor.com. The pandemic has delayed plans for many Americans and homeowners looking to move on to the next stage of their life are no exception. Recent survey data suggests the majority of prospective sellers are actively preparing to enter the market this winter. So this is a big reason why this graph here is a big reason why we're estimating, the first quarter of 2022 to be a pretty good one as well. So majority of sellers entering the market plan to list next year or plan to list in the next 6 months. So that's Q1 and Q2, according to Realtor.com. 93% have already taken steps to prepare their home, including working with an agent. 65 have listed their home or plan to this winter, and 13 of the people researched are already who don't have their home on the market are preparing right now, making repairs, decluttering, painting, those kinds of things. Chief economist at Realtor.com says listings rose for the second week in a row, with our recent survey data suggesting that a growing share of homeowners are potential sellers eager to find new homes. There is a reason to believe this may be the start of a welcome trend, especially as we move into the colder months, for sure. I mean, North New Jersey as a whole, and the nation has a big supply shortage right now, so that would help out a lot. Let's take a look at interest rates. And I like going over these at least once a month with you guys to kind of track this stuff, because I do hear from people every once in a while that because of mortgage rates rising, they feel like home sale prices are going to drop dramatically. And from everything I've seen, the evidence that I'm looking at here that I'm going to share with you, that just does not seem true. So mortgage rates right now on average are about 3.1 nationwide, which is pretty great, still very low. So historically, looking back at the past 5 years, these graphs kind of track it throughout the year. 2021 there you can see is very low, only outpaced by 2020 in the Q4. So interest rates, though below 3% then, kind of came back up in the beginning of the year, but they've remained pretty steady around 3%. I like this graph. It's the formatting didn't come through, so I apologize, but it shows home prices impacted slightly by rising mortgage rates, but no depreciation except for the housing crash around 2016. So the yellow and red line here shows interest rates. So around 2005, you can see they're 5.87 as an average, and then they went up right there at the housing crash. Okay, so the number of homes sold went down. But then after that, after we recovered and since then, you can see even though when the mortgage rates rise in the red, home sales volume and appreciation has still gone up. So that, except for the housing crash, which we're not expecting anything like that anytime soon, rising interest rates have really not affected the overall amount of home sales or appreciation, which is what I'm going to get into. So house price appreciation is resistant to rising mortgage rates, primarily because most home sellers would rather withdraw from the market than sell at a lower price. This is certainly true where we live too, a phenomenon referred to as a downside sticky. So this shows exactly that. Just a different graph going back a little bit further, showing appreciation across the board, except for that little sticky spot there between, like, right after 2005, where you see it kind of take a bit more of a dip. Everything after that and everything before that in the red, when the interest rates rise, home price appreciation is still up. You know me, I love my quotes here. Context matters for purchase demand. The economy is improving. Millennials continue to age into their prime home buying years in large numbers. So the context remains good for the housing market. And the millennials is a very big generation right now, made up of a lot of people. And as these people move into that home buying phase of their life, the home market is going to continue to stay strong. All right, let's look at some mortgage rate projections here over the next year. So this is 2022 broke down into quarters. These are all the major loan providers throughout the country and their predictions quarter by quarter. I like looking at the far right column here, which is the average of all four, predicted to go up slightly over the year from 3.3 to 0.4% more by the end of the year. Whoops. So from 3.3 to 3.4 to 3.5 to 3.7. Home price forecast for 2022. These are the same resources projecting this stuff, or these numbers. So all of them you can see are positive numbers, and the average of all of those is 5.1 for home price appreciation over the next year. Home sales forecasts set to increase and perform well again. We have 2021 here wrapping up, 2022 projections. And if you look back, this line was the average sold in 2020. So 2021 outperformed the average last year in every quarter. And it looks like 2022 is going to do the same thing. Just want to take a look at what we call the absorption rate, or the months of inventory homes for sale. This is certainly true for North New Jersey as well. This is a nationwide graph here. Buyer's market is anything above about 7%, or 7 months on the market. So that basically means if no other listings were to come on the market, how long would it take for the ones that are on now to get absorbed and purchased? So a neutral market is right around 6 months of inventory left, and then everywhere from or anything 6 and below is considered a seller's market because things, as we say, sell a lot quicker or fly off the shelf. So you can see right around the housing crash, 2016 to about 2011, it was a buyer's market. And for the past about 9-10 years, it's been a seller's market. All right, if we look at the potential growth for household wealth, you buy a $350,000 home right now or close on it in January. These are the home price appreciations year by year projected just based off of what we expect appreciation is going to be. So if you hold on to that for 5 years, a $350,000 home, you're likely going to make over $100,000 with that investment. So a good reason to invest in real estate and why that's a very steady wealth builder. I'm going to leave you guys with this last slide and just say that I do have updated quarterly buyer and seller guides that are completely free, people. I don't even ask for your name or information. I have them on my website, just available to download. If you want to just, if you don't have access to that or you haven't been getting my emails, you don't follow me online or something, you can go to brian.storyhomesearch.com, and in the resources tab there, you can find it and download them. I have 2 versions. One is pretty lengthy if you like a lot of information, and the other one is basically a one sheet. So pick and choose whatever you want. Again, they are completely free, no strings attached. If you're thinking about buying or selling anytime soon, they are a really good way to familiarize yourself with the process, even if you've done it before. So I am always happy to provide those with anyone who wants them. And stop sharing for a minute here at the end and just say happy holidays, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I welcome getting in contact with all of you guys. Shoot me your emails or texts. All the love that I receive from you guys, I really appreciate it every week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be out next week visiting my folks and my family in Colorado. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks. I hope everyone has very happy holidays. Merry Christmas if you celebrate. And I will see you right before, right? Or if not, right after the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you have a great end of your 2021, and I will see you later.